Cool. I'm going to record to my computer. Hi, welcome to Show+Tell. Week 2, Week 1. What is time? What are weeks? Show+Tell. We're all here today. The end of Friday, we're going to showcase some of the stuff that we've been working on, some of the products and applications and the sheer ingenuity that we've demonstrated over the last week or so. So I got a list curated here of people that signed up, and I'm going to, wow, geez, I got to give it up for David Fleck, representing Neighborhood Library. So you got to help me out here, David. I don't know if I need to, no, actually, hold on, I got this.
Oh, I could talk.
Oh, cool. So never mind. I'm not even gonna, yeah, it's great. Okay.
All right.
This is David. David, do your thing.
Hey, everyone. So I am with Book Maps, the project formerly known as Neighborhood Library. But yeah, so let's check out what we got so far. So this is our front end OAuth. That was a huge thing, a huge hurdle we had to hop over this week, but our team did a great job. As you can see, we got freaking nice 2008 OAuth buttons for Facebook and Google. And to confuse the hackers, when you click the Facebook button, it takes you to Google sign in. Like, why even pay for reCAPTCHA at this point, right? So let's sign in as me and check out the app. So we got a pretty modern landing page. It's white, but it is called Book Maps. So let's go to the map view built by Jacob Layton. So right here we're using the Google Maps API, and this is pulling my location from my browser. And this is where I live, in Chicagoland. But if we zoom out here, so yeah, we're truly a global library. We got libraries in the sea even. Check this out. Look, Darian, what's he doing over there? I don't know. But so these are all of our seeded users. Faker.js kind of went nuts with the latitude and longitude, but these are all the people signed up for our app. But so there's the maps. Let's go to the books now. So we're going to go to the add book form. We're using the Goodreads API to search by title, author, and ISBN all at once and give us the top 10 search results. So like, let's say you're like super obsessed with, I don't know, lobsters. So I'm going to type in lobster, and what do you know? We got all these lobster results, all from Goodreads. Thank you, Jeff Bezos. So let's go to lobsters. Just keep it nice and simple. We're going to add it to our library. Now, this form is so we can like add a description here. Like, let's say I spilled a bunch of, or not spilled, I got a bunch of pizza stains on my book, and I want to let people know that, so when they borrow my book, they're like, hey, just so you know, this is really gross. So, sorry, lots of pizza stains, lol. Add book to my library. And then I'm going to go over to my inventory page. Guys, I seriously love Moby Dick. You need to read that book. It's not stodgy, it's lit, okay? But down here, Fast to Eat, Pray, Love, we got lobsters. So that's the main UI features we have now. We can also like filter by availability or not when you're browsing books. You can also search by title, author, whatever you want. And yeah, guys, thanks for your time, and good luck to everyone else presenting tonight.
And oh man, you know, Neighborhood Library. I'm sorry. Well, that was the code name. Book Maps.
Book Maps.
No matter where you are, they got books. That was fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for presenting. David's one of my favorite guys doing the presentation. Yeah, I can't wait for your TED Talk, man. Let's see what else we got. We got Caitlin. Caitlin's going to be presenting Impact. Caitlin, take it away. Oh wait, no, wait, before you do that, I'm sorry. Hold on. I gotta. Okay, now you're good. Sorry.
Hey everyone, I'm Caitlin Jaguar. I'm presenting for Impact. My team members are Audrey Welch and Jonah Bergevin on iOS, Olu Duroje on UX design, Emily McClanahan, Pat McNulty, Matt Feldman, and Josh Armentrout, and myself on web development. So our app assists people experiencing homelessness to become aware and locate resources. The integration of technology and homelessness resource distribution will improve the accessibility, increase impact, and empower the homeless population, hence the name Impact with an E. So the feature I'd like to share with you today, we're in week 1, so we set up our database today and we used Firebase. I'm going to give you a tour of that. I'll move your faces off the screen. All right, so we set up a real-time database with actual data that we scraped from sites and then normalized to fit the schema of our database. So this is our live database. We got a ton of data points that are actual data from New York City. That's the city we're focusing in on. And we can filter our data here. So if we just, this is everything. If we just want to see education, we can load education only. Oh, I spelled it wrong. That would help. And get all the data points for only our education. We also used Firebase for hosting. And this was interesting because Firebase was new to all of us. So we had to learn a lot, but our app is deployed on the front end. And here it is. And right now we just have our landing page set up, and we can switch between English and Spanish. That's going to be one of the features throughout our app. You'll be able to switch from English to Spanish at any time. But that is where we're at right now after week 1.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry. I thought I was already unmuted. Caitlin, thank you so much for presenting. Firebase is lofty ambitions. I know that we're all comfortable with things like Heroku and Netlify, so I'm always very humbled when I see people trying to sink their teeth into something a little bit unfamiliar. And Firebase, I mean, you know, coming up Donald Duck seems like Firebase. I feel like I heard my mom talking about Firebase the other day. My mom doesn't even know how to use a remote control for the television. Thank you for presenting. What do we have next? We have I'm going to try this. Patrick with student data.
Yeah, I'm Patrick with student data. My teammates are Kevin Breck, Leanne Lewis, Josh Teets, and Scott Bren. And I should probably share my screen. Okay. Just sharing?
It's sharing.
Wait, am I on the right screen?
I see a school me interface.
Oh, yeah, okay. It wasn't highlighting. Okay, so we have OAuth using Passport, and, you know, shouts out to Leanne for doing legwork on that, and you can sign in with Google. And okay, there we go. And specifically what I'm going to be showing y'all is our Redux flow, because the expected users for this are like low resource environments and like schools in the developing world, so internet connection's kind of spotty. So what we ended up doing as far as the database management is anytime you get to one of the components or one of the views that does API calls, it really only makes just the one and then stores it in the a persistent state store that we have attached to the Redux store. And then all the filtering is done in the local components. So yeah, you can get more granular. I think I can show the code real quick. I think it's pretty simple. It's just like tracks, you know, a couple of variables, and some of these are for modal stuff. But most of it comes from grabs like all the arrays come from the reducers rather than being tracked locally, and locally, all it's really doing is tracking presentational elements. And it's worked pretty well so far, I think. That's about all I got. You want to see anything else?
No, this is terrific. I think I speak for everybody in Lambda school, where we have an understudy of using Redux, like pretty hardcore. There's nothing simple about what you're doing. And my hat goes off to you. I still have nightmares about Redux. I'm getting better with it, but thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing very much. The next up, we got, oh, hell yeah, Amber with Social Board 3. Hey, Amber, are you trying to talk through your microphone? Because we can't hear what you're saying.
Man, I was totes trying to talk. I'd already gotten halfway in. Let me back up. All right, so I'm Amber, and I'm with Social Board.
I get $5 on it. No, you already gave me $5. It's still in my bag. My check.
Somebody got $5 too.
Yeah, hold on.
Thank you. Love you guys.
And I did the Venmo.
Okay, so much for that. So, Amber, I'm going to let you go. Oh, because you're the Amber. Are you ready, Amber? Wait. And Zoom Pro is crazy. All right, Amber, you should be good to talk into your microphone.
Okay, Dad. I'm Amber, and I'm a Social Board 3. And I'm working with Huthman and Abdul and Iman and Levon and Brandon and Trey. And we're working on an existing code base. And this is our first week in this. And it's on a social app called Symposium. So, it's our first week. We set up our Trello. We got our auth, we got, our pusher. Of course, we put it on Netlify, got our back end up on Heroku, which was actually kind of fun because, none of us had used Postgres before. So, yeah, we figured that out one day. And, after getting it all working, finding a phantom / that had made its way into our code. It might have been my fault, but I'm not going to say it was, but it might have been. Anyway, once we found the phantom / we got our everything connected and working, as well as I said our little auth. It's not got all the fun Facebooks and stuff, but we're like, let's make one work first. So we'll log in. We are going to see some data from our back end. Of course, when I got it working, I was like, it's working, much like our instructor of not long ago liked to do. We can downvote that if you'd like. Give it a downvote. But it's Star Wars, so let's give it an upvote. But yeah, you can view your announcements. Get to your teams, all that good stuff. But yeah, and now that all the setup, I guess, is done, our team's gonna start moving into admin features, moderator features. All that good stuff to make it work. We're also going to do some analytics as well. So, the admins can see how many people log in and stuff like that. But anyway, that was pretty much our week. And yeah.
Amber, thank you very much. Shout out to the Phantom / by the way. For those that don't know, the Symposium is the continuation of a project from last lab's cohorts. And we have two different teams that are going to be working on it. And so I think Joshua made a good point when we were doing check-ins today that Symposiums, it's like the kind of application that, we could be doing add-ons for Symposium to Labs 27. There's just so much that you can do with this. So it's really exciting to see, especially with the foundation of how good a project Symposium was from last lab's cohort. So thank you very much for sharing. I have on my list next, this project's crazy. Jacob with package size, aka Scan R.
Yes. All right, so I'm Jacob. I'm with the Labs 11 package size group. We're working on an app called Scan R. That's Scan AR, which is an app that assists with packaging and shipping using the iPhone AR kit. It's really cool. It makes recommendations on box sizes based on the objects that you scan. It's kind of made to work alongside e-commerce sellers. It also keeps track of your shipments in real time. You add shipments based on tracking numbers. So let me go ahead and let you know that I don't actually have the AR feature to show off today. I'm just going to be showing off the data models and some of the features of the app from the back end. So unfortunately, we're going to have to wait for that, but you guys should tune in because it's really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up what we got here. So all the objects that are scanned through AR are going to be kept on this products table, which we also could call it the objects table, products, objects either way. And it has all these entries that are entered by the user manually. The AR also takes, of course, the dimensions of the object, and those are used to make a recommended box size. All these box sizes are going to be kept on the box table that are populated from recommended box size from the co-op partner, Lambda's co-op partner that wants this project done. And we're going to take all these recommended box size for them and try to recommend them one of these. They could also enter a custom box size for that product and keep it in this box sizes table right here and use that instead. We also have the shipments table. For one, there will be one shipment. You could have multiple shipments per product, and you add shipments with a tracking number. So, and that's the way this is done is pretty cool, because when you actually take a tracking number and you go to the USPS API with it, you get an object, really crazy object back. Looks kind of like this. So this is kind of hard to use and just add to a database. It's got so many different things on it that we probably don't need. It's even got, but this is actually not exactly what you would get back from the USPS API. We use a node package called shipit, and that helps return it back in a JSON format instead of an XML format. So this is what we get from there. And what we do with that is we go into this little nice function we got right here, and it turns into a nice, easy to use JSON object that we can use to populate our database. And I'm going to show how that works right here. You'll have a last updated, date shipped, ship to. All of that comes from that data object we just looked at. So I'm just going to go here in Postman really quick. And I have a tracking number from a video game that I sent on eBay to California. I'm going to go ahead and put that into Postman, add it, take it what it looks like when I actually put it through. Turns all into that right there. It's very cool. You even see it keeps the where it shipped to, the time this was updated. And that's really helpful for the iOS side, because when they get back online, they need to know what's newer compared to their store, the date shipped and everything. So that's what one of the things I've been working on the back end right there. But we're keep finding newer and newer things to use this app for, and hopefully you guys get to see the new things that come out with it in the future. We'll definitely show off the AR capabilities as soon as we can. It's going to be really neat. Thanks, guys.
Can't wait for my incredible concrete mouse to show up in the mail.
That's Faker JS's random product names.
Yeah, the Faker product descriptions are killer.
Yeah, they're funny.
One thing it's like really kind of a bummer about like some older APIs, like I'm sure USPS aren't exactly on the cutting edge of their open source API, but I find that having to massage like XML into JSON was always like a pain point, especially if you're trying to like get cute with it and use like GraphQL. Thankfully, Node's getting a lot better with like utility functions for that whole thing, which I'm sure you're like already well aware of at this point. That's thanks for sharing, Jacob. I can't wait to see what this project is going to turn into, especially on the website. I know you're always hyping the iOS side, but the website is like pretty compelling too. All right. Next up, we got Hamza with totally not at all creepy ad network.
The very, very creepy one then, I guess.
Oh, sorry, I got mixed up.
Okay, we're still kind of working on our landing page here, but this is it for now. You can sign up for login. I have a few accounts already. Let's see. Oh, this is signing up, actually. I'm in the wrong one. There we go. All right. So this would be our analytics dashboard that would track each ad and offers from each advertiser. You can pick by each offer that you have, and it would filter out by its own analytics, and it's actually live. So maybe I think if we go here and networks ads, I think 5, that's one of our ads here, and it would every time it loads up every, it changes live, so it tracks browser data. We have more data in the backend, but here, since this is an affiliate account, you would be able to choose from offers from the advertiser account. You could view those ads, take the iframe here to show on your website. And once you do, we'll be able to track everything on that ad. Also, if you don't have that offer yet, you could accept it. And once you accept it, it'll send the owner of that offer an email saying someone got your ad here. But since this one doesn't have any ads there, it doesn't show up. Also, we have the payouts thing here. So since now I'm an affiliate, I've made $1.20. I can withdraw it, and it actually withdraws from Stripe. It's actually all connected. I can change my payment method, things like that. Let me show you the advertiser side here. On your advertiser side, I can also track by whatever offers that I have, or create a new offer. This is just needs more styling. I can also create a new ad. This we're still working on. We're basically just being able to create your own live ads here, and as well as upload images. Upload images, see how they look there and how your ad looks. And you have different versions of your ad as well. And also, since the advertiser could take out money, we can pay them. So the affiliate side actually gets a payout, and here on the advertiser side, they have to pay. So that transaction went through, and it went through Stripe, and there's a receipt for it for each transaction. And not sure if I forgot anything, but I'll stop here. Thank you.
Best bananas in town. Yeah, that's crazy. I really like the fact that you can just come up with a banner right there in the dashboard. That's wild. What are you doing for the like? How are you gathering some of your sample ads? Were you just like actually banners?
No, you can actually create them right then and there, and they get saved to our database, and then we use styled components to re-render them, and we're using just that plain React component to render them in an iframe, which allows us to track impressions, conversions, clicks, and things like that live. And we're thinking about rotating each ad, so it's always randomized. It's not the same ad every time. So I think that's how we're doing it. We couldn't find really any NPM packages to use or anything like that. It was either too big or too small. Yeah, we're going for it.
That's crazy. That's well done. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Fantastic. I've always wondered like how complicated the ads that get served to me get, trying to go as underground as possible, but they still get me. Still get me. Cool. All right, we got coming up next. We have Jacob with with Birthright. I love the name of this project. Jacob with Birthright.
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully you guys can hear me.
Oh, we can hear you.
Okay. So I am here with Birthright. It's basically an Uber-like app to connect mothers to motorcycle ambulance drivers to get them to a hospital or a healthcare facility in order to give birth. As you can imagine, this is for third world countries, specifically Uganda, and so some of the getting to a hospital would be important because the options would not be ideal if you don't get there. So I'm here with Matt Basile, Kenny Johnson, Orlando Lopez. They're all doing the web side of things. And we have Austin Cole doing the iOS side, and I'm handling the Android app. And so I'm going to give you a brief demo of my Android app, which I chose to write in Kotlin, just to get the experience of it. And so let me share my screen here. You should see my app right up here. And when you first start it up, you come up to this welcome screen if you haven't logged in previously. And we hit next here. And we have our OAuth. We have the option to sign in with a phone or with Google. We'll try sign in with a phone just to show you how that works using a pre-existing account. And we'll verify our phone number. And we'll use this code here. And it should shortly pop up with the details, but at times this phone has been slow. Unfortunately, using the emulator in Android, if any of you are familiar with it, is extremely slow. I'm trying to run it actually by mirroring my phone screen. Let me try that again real quick. Verify phone number. And continue. And there we go. Not sure what happened there. I'll have to dig into that. But see, then you can see we have some information and we have email, address, etc. We also have a due date with its integrated calendar you can pick, etc. and the healthcare facility. Once you get to this point, you can continue on and we can request a ride. We can search for a driver if you know a specific driver that you want to find. If you don't know, you just need somebody as quick as you can. You just hit request ride. It pings the server, tries to find the nearest driver. As you can see, we've integrated Google Maps. It obviously is, has some work to be done. It would have a pickup location, a destination location, which it should auto-populate off of your data that you put in when you onboarded. Estimated pickup time, the estimated fare that it's going to cost, and the time to wait for a response. If you don't get a response within the amount of time that you're requesting, it'll go on to the next driver and ask them for a response. And then from there you can send the request, and obviously you can see I still have some more work to do on the UI. There will be a driver side of the app as well. I could show you a little bit of that, but there's not a whole lot to see at this point. But it will read the requests as they come in and give the drivers an option to accept it or reject it. And if you reject, then it would move on to the next driver. Yeah, we still have a ways to go, of course, but it's only week 2, and I'm feeling pretty good about where we're at so far, and so I'm looking forward to seeing this project through to the end. So, yeah, that's what I have.
Most definitely. Thanks for sharing, Jacob. Let's see the driver ratings for something like Birthright. Like, no, I'm not taking this driver. They got like 4 stars. No, I need to get to the hospital right now. We
actually are planning to implement a rating as well. We'll see how that goes.
No, you totally need that. Cool. Let me oh my god, look what time it is. All right, cool. We gotta speed these up. I didn't realize it was getting close to 8 o'clock. So let me just pass off to Leanne with Training Bot. This one's great too.
Yeah, awesome. Hi, I'll try and be a little speedier so we can catch up. So I'm on Team Training Bot, and my teammates are Alex King, Brandon Lent, Mike Landers, and Nate Boyette. And just a reminder, Training Bot is an app that sends automated text or emails to team members based at a predefined time set by the user. So I'm going to talk about our Twilio integration, which is the service that allows us to send those text messages. So I'm going to share my screen. We don't actually have it implemented on the front end yet, but I'm going to give you an idea of what would happen. So I'm logged into my account as a user, and we have training series and team members. And what I could do is go to a team member, and there will be a button that says assign to series, and we would be able to assign them to one of these series. And these series have posts inside them. And when you create a post, you specify how many days after the user or the team member is assigned, how many days later that post gets sent out to that user. So now that I've kind of given that overview, our biggest challenge was trying to figure out how to actually set the date rather than just the integer of days after the assignment, and to actually query our database to pull the posts that need to be sent out on that particular day. So we actually ended up using Moment.js to help us with that implementation. So I'm going to kind of run through the everything from start to finish. So when a user assigns a team member a training series, you assign the team member by their ID, and we send our team member to a training series table that stores the training series ID and the team member ID and their start date. So if it was today, we would say March 29th. And then after that, we also grab the member's contact information, and we also get all of the posts inside that training series. Then we use that information to create a new array of objects that includes the post information. Then we take that integer value that the user set on the front end. We turn it into a send date and use Moment we feed Moment the start date, so that if it was today, it'd be March 29th. And then if the integer value was 2, this says add 2 days. And basically this returns as 2 days from today, which is March 31st. Then we also include the team member's contact information. And then for each new object, we send it to our table that stores all of the notifications. So we seeded that, we tested it out with a couple of our actual phone numbers and emails. So you can see we did this on the 26th of March, but so you can see this table has the send date, and we calculated it based on the 26th. And then what happens is we have some helper functions that actually query the database, and we select the phone number, the post name, the details, and the link. We also have email implemented with SendGrid. It works very similarly. And then once we get that query, it's filtered by the day. So we feed, every day we feed today's date, which I will show in more detail in a second. And we filter our query by that day. We actually do that in this file. So we also use Moment to generate today's date in the format that we need. And so they basically filter because they match exactly. And then we send so once we gather them, we then send it to this function, file with the function inside it. And then for each notification, we then create the body of the message and feed it to the start system. And this is where we decide what time of day it's sent. So our system currently sends out at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time every day, once a day. And then as long as the server is running and these functions are all running, then it consistently runs and does it every day at that time. So we tested it, and let me show you SendGrid first. I'm sorry, Twilio. So you can see that 18:30 is actually the Greenwich Standard Time, which is 7 hours ahead of Pacific Standard Time, so that would be 11:30 a.m. And it has all of our phone numbers. And I have a screenshot of my phone from earlier today. And I do also have emails that were sent from SendGrid.
Twilio blowing you up.
Yes. So that's it.
That's so cool. Thanks for sharing, man. Isn't it funny? Like, it's the year 2019 and 21st century, and look how complicated time still is, from the Julian calendar all the way to JavaScript in the 21st century.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's keep it rolling. We got Nick with Team Home 3.
Hey everyone. So I'm Nick with Team Home 3/Manage. Our app is sort of like Basecamp or Asana or Trello or any of those. It's just like a place where you can manage people, manage teams. My team members are Clint Coons, Daniel Weinman, Ivan Caldwell, Kayana Chandler, Ian Raphael, and Kevin Suter. So we're doing a refactor of the back end and kind of doing more standardization on the front end. So we inherited a code base from previous labs teams, and they were using a lot of style libraries and stuff. So in the back end, we just wanted to refactor. So not quite as far as everyone else, but one thing I wanted to show you that I learned this week. Am I showing the right screen? It's like it's not highlighting.
I got your VS Code window and then the browser.
Okay. And Siri just started. Okay. So one thing I wanted to show is that if you have a list of things with like a REST API, if you wanted, like the standard thing would be you get the data, you store the data in state somewhere, and then if you delete something, you would like do a filter on the state so you don't have to call the database twice to get the data again. And one interesting thing with GraphQL on the front end is I'm using a library called Apollo client. So instead of storing that data on state, it actually has a cache object built in. So when I run that delete query, I'm basically asking I'm getting the list of items again. I'm requerying right there. And then I'm saying that I'm writing to the cache. So every time I do this query to get all this data again, it's not gonna hit the database or the server. It's gonna run from the in-memory cache, which is pretty neat. And yeah, I just wanted to show that was a neat thing that I learned this week. Yeah, that's about it.
That is really clever. That's one thing that like kind of blows my mind about Apollo. Just that building cache concept is just like 31st century. It's so cool. Yeah, everybody's on the Dracula theme, I noticed today. That's cool. I'm using that right now too. Cool. How about we got Drew with Learned 1. Not to be confused with Learned A, of which there are 2 Learned teams. Just the most confusing name convention ever. Shout out to Brian.
All right.
Futurama reference for those who missed.
Alrighty. I'm Drew, part of Team Home 3. Our team consists of Hunter Smith, Brian Garcia, James Anthony, Andre Myrick, and our PM is Sean. We are actually using a bunch of new technologies in our things that we have never used before. We're using Next.js now and Zeet to provide server-side rendering with our React app, and we're using Firebase on our backend. So I'll go ahead and share what we have so far. All right, so we got a pretty basic landing page going on. We have Google Auth fully implemented and good to go. So when you first get into the app, you will be directed to the home page. And this needs to go here. All right, our home page doesn't have much right now, but this will be where you will be recommended blog courses and other items. Most of our work this week was done in Learning Lab. So this is really cool. You can actually save blog posts and your courses will show up here. So if I wanted to save, for example, this blog post right here, I can just copy that. We can add to my list. All we have to do is input the link, press add. It'll go through web scraping, and it will pop up here any second now, or it should. There it is right there. So it gets the image from the website and all the title, author, and everything. And then if you ever wanted to go back and look at it, you could just open that up and it will redirect you right back to that area. See, we also have an account page that allows you to see your profile picture. You can edit your username if you wanted to. It'll save it to our database, and that all works great. So one of our biggest problems with this, one of them was actually working with Firebase. Firebase is a non-relational database. So we have a lot of things that need relations. So we have a lot of different fields here. For example, this is referencing my list, which actually goes into here, into content collection, and finds everything with the ID, and we'll show you everything. Another thing with the web scraping is, let's show you this. So the main problem was getting data from Udemy because they blocked bots and other items. So we had to get around that, and we actually went through a lot of, so this is all our old code that we went through. So we had a lot of fails with this, but we finally got it working. So when a user hooks their account up, we are able to get every single course that they have. So we can get the URL of the course, their title, and everything else. So that's great. Takes a little bit, but that's all right. Other than that, I think that's about it.
Hack the planet. Hack the planet. Yes, I love it. The whole concept of scraping is like I'm so into like the devious methodology for just scraping stuff, especially Udemy. Udemy is like they're Fort Knox and some of the stuff you try to crawl with them. Speaking from experience, that's really cool. Thank you for sharing. Adrian with Intercom app. I think Adrian's here. Adrian, I just saw you. Okay, we can come back to Adrian, just in the interest of time. Adrian, if you're here, just send me a message and we'll get you back on. Social app 2. So this is like part 2 to part 3 with Jonathan.
Cool. Let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, I'm Jonathan. My team members include Modesto Tamayo, Marco Guzman, Kevin Tran, Jeffrey Airtrip with Social App 2. Symposium is an existing code base that we've been working on. And Symposium is a place where like-minded people can come together to share and discuss new ideas. Our challenge this week was to get the endpoints together so we can get our features that we need to build, which is a following system so a user can follow another user. Also, so that you can create a team, have public teams, private teams, be able to join those teams and have discussions within those teams. I think the biggest challenge for an existing code base is just getting to know what's already there. Some of the stuff that's there, you have to adjust. There's already a function for something, so before you build it, you kind of have to research and know what's going on. Some of the things that we had to do, for example, here, we're working with 3 different tables here: users, followers, users, and user settings, because we need to get this wireframe together. We need the username, we need the avatar, location. We had to update the database for the bio, the links here. So we got the routes together for this here. We have our team routes here where you can get discussions, create a team, update a team, get team by user ID. We also have a couple of things that we had to do. For example, we had to format the data for our pusher and variables. So we had to make sure that our things match what was already there for pusher so that we can get our notifications together. And cool, let me show off what's going on. So there's a lot of other stuff for like the front end because we're using Redux and React. So we have action variables and functions and things like that. But to give you the gist of what we're doing here, I'm going to show you this here. So right now, if I go here, we can see that I'm not following the category for design team. I do have a notification here, and it actually is the design team category. And the reason why I can see this is because I am following Modesto, who made that post. So when they make a post, I can see that. This is an unfollow button because I am following Modesto. We can see that Modesto is following me. If I go to my own profile, it is edit profile instead of a follow or unfollow button. We can see everybody that I am following here. And so we can create a follow, unfollow someone. Like I can go to Modesto real quick, then go back to me, and Modesto is off the list. And then for the teams aspect of things here, this is our public teams. Currently, we only have one public seated team. We're going to create some more. You won't be able to see private teams unless you have like the link for it, I think. But we can go here. We can take a look at the discussions. We can take a look at the wiki. We can look at the team members. All right, Modesto's in there. I'm following him. I want to join this team. I can join the team. And now I'm able to add discussions and do various things like that. So that is Symposium.
Symposium. Thank you, Jonathan. Hopefully one day Symposium is a replacement for General in Slack. That was the inspiration for something like Symposium, is that one day in Lambda school, we'll have a way of like actually being able to communicate without having to, you know, be hit with 1,000 party potato animated emojis. I don't know. I hope that's not a feature on Symposium. They drive me crazy. Cool. Great. Rachel, Classroom Angel. I have no idea what Classroom Angel is, but it sounds cool.
Hey everyone, I'm Rachel Passeri. I am presenting for Classroom Angel. The other members on the team are Alec Jordan, Grant Reichard, Jordan Massengill, and John O'Rourke. So our app is a nonprofit that allows school administrators in the developing world to track and broadcast the needs of their school to board members and donors in the US. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So we were able to implement Auth0 for our third-party authentication. So I'm going to log in using Google. Okay, so there's really nothing done up here yet, so we're going to just go to the app. And this is our home page. This is our issue log, so you can add an issue and you can update one as well. So I'm going to mark this as scheduled and save it. Our next tab shows a calendar that lists our scheduled repairs, shipments, and deliveries. This was used with React Big Calendar. And this is our teacher attendance. Teachers will eventually be able to clock in and clock out. And these are at our administrator visits for them to check out what needs to be fixed, shipped, or delivered. And we were also able to integrate Stripe, which will eventually allow subscriptions. And we're also going to implement Stripe Connect, which allows for a board member to pay a donor for whatever they were able to fix or ship. And going back to the calendar for a moment, we also want to implement the ability for users to edit what's on schedule and be able to add more things that need to be fixed. And that is Classroom Angel.
Classroom Angel. It's a good thing you got that blowtorch repair before the kit shipment on Monday. Do not forget about the kit shipment. I like the idea of being able to pay your donors. That's a really cool use case for something with Stripe other than just like, you know, pay me. Cool. Thank you for sharing. Wow, we're almost there. Okay, cool. Katie's got an exciting project. Reminders International. This is a new name, by the way. I never knew this was the name. But Katie, take it away.
We may have got creative. So my name is Katie Fitzpatrick. I'm working with Kat Johnson-Fries, Rachel Kolk, and Elijah Atulama. And our team, as Ed said, is Reminders International. Reminders International is an app that's intended to fill the learning gap that happens for adult learners. Our adult learners are getting education from nonprofits, and they have unique challenges that they face. So our app is trying to fill that gap through enabling teachers and instructors to be able to send reminders about class and messages in between class to refresh that knowledge, or send after class resources for anyone who missed class. And the feature that I wanted to show off, my team member Elijah actually built and kind of conceived of. I'm very excited about it. I hope I'm not building it up too much. And also thank you everyone for sticking around. I know it's late. All right, so this is what I'm excited about. Get users' details. As you can see, walking through this, there's a lot of stuff going on. We're grabbing from a lot of different tables in our database, and this doesn't really look like much or tell you much. But what it turns into is this beautiful single object. A single object that we can send to our front end and get to all the information that we would need on the front end. And I get excited on the level of well-organized information alone. But I also think it's very cool and exciting because it's going to enable us to just do one API hit for most of the uses that we have on the front end, which is going to give us a really high performance app. And I think that's going to be important with who the potential users are. Another reason this is important for us, and I think a really nice thing that Elijah was able to put together, is if we look through these wireframes, you can see there's a lot going on, and it's all related to the user. So if we're not having to update our state all the time to get all these little different pieces of information, that's going to work out really well. We build out the rest of our backend. We have a really robust API outside of that user object. We really wanted to keep in mind that it's going to be an app that grows, and that nonprofits often don't have a lot of resources to be able to do development work. So we really wanted to build the backend in such a way that it was easy to manage, easy to update, and easy to access, but also do some elegant things like this object to make it easy to create high performance app.
Thank you, Katie. I think the API organization, like you get excited about organization. I think that the goes hand in hand with that is efficiency of those deliverable like details from an API. And I think that's so clean and crisp the way that you're able to, Elijah was able to massage them into that nice little bite-sized chunk. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing. All right, y'all, this is the last few ones. We got CJ with the sequel to Mood, not sequel, but the next phase of the Mood application, Curie.
Cool, so I am gonna go fast. I'm CJ, and I already checked with the team. They don't mind if I don't do introductions, but just know that I am surrounded by 6 other devs that are all smarter than me. So with that in mind, our tech stack is React, and we're gonna use hooks to integrate with the pre-existing Redux, and also iOS. We've got an iOS app in development as well. Let's go ahead and just share everything. They say you shouldn't show your whole desktop, but let's do it. So this is our login screen right here for Mood and Curie, and we're Team Curie. And what this is going to be is the basis for a suite of stand-up management tools. Mood by itself is a tool that allows you to gauge the climate of a team via a very quick survey with emojis or text response to show how people are feeling. And Curie is the add-on that you can get that will be able to manage stand-ups. A set of 3 questions in the survey that quickly goes out to the entire team, along with saved metrics that you can look at over from both the user and the management. So managements can look at the entire set of team data over any given time, and the user can look at their own responses over the length of a sprint. So over the length of labs, you could gauge your own responses to see how you were doing. Let's go ahead and log in. We have Auth0 up and running. It was one of our successes for the week. We're a week 1 class, by the way. We have Auth0 running. It's one of our successes for the week. We will go ahead and log in using GitHub. Facebook, GitHub, Google, and Twitter all work. We're going to go ahead and use GitHub as a manager. That's going to log us in. When we get logged in, you'll see a management profile screen. It's going to go ahead and it's going to say welcome. Well, it's saying welcome. There we go. There's our welcome. There. So here's your home view where you'll be able to see all of your teams. You can create a survey. And with the implementation of the query, you'll also have another button here that will allow you to create a query, which is the term for the stand-up survey. This is the mood survey right here, and the stand-up survey will be the other one. You have your profile. You also have a team list where you'll be able to see the teams that you are running. And right now, here's a team member. Here's where all the reports will be. You'll be able to see all of the reports for all of your metrics and data over time, as well as the query will follow this same UI, and you'll be able to see that too. Billing, we have Stripe up, but it's not fully functional yet. So that'll be the next thing, along with the query add-ons, and it'll follow this exact same UI. So there'll just be a couple more boxes. We've also got wireframes and all that good stuff, but we won't go through all of them, but they are there. So you'll see like all that good stuff as well. Some of our back end was a lot of adding new links as we were inheriting a code base like a lot of you guys. So it was refactoring and adding new links and adding new tables. Really proud of I hate to say it like this, but I'm really proud of the girls because it was 3 young ladies on our team that kind of took this over and they just made that work. So I'm really proud of them. They were back there just burning the midnight oil, getting these things all going. So that's a huge win for us. We'll go ahead and we'll log out as a manager, and then we'll log back in as a user. So this time, since we're not management, we're not diehards, we won't use GitHub. We will use Google. We'll go ahead and we'll log in using Google Auth. And this time, you pick from your account, and then you'll see a similar screen when we get there. So here we go. Login is CJ. And here we are. So welcome, CJ. Here's our Slack integration. I haven't done any surveys. I guess I'm not the best teammate. Haven't done any surveys yet, but this is where your surveys will populate in your profile. And that is what Curie is, and that's our first week progress. So really proud of the team. I think that given the circumstance, I think that we're doing all right, and look forward to coming at you guys next week with something even better.
Yeah, CJ, thank you. I'm sure we did a survey right now asking what you think about this project for 1 week in. I think your Netlify deployment would crash. No, but seriously, wonderful, wonderful work.
Awesome. I can't find my stop share button. There it is.
Yeah, cool. All right. Thank you for sharing, CJ. Let's see. Samaya, this will be the first time I've ever talked to Samaya, like in real life. Samaya, go ahead. You're going to be presenting Learn to A.
Yeah. Let me share my screen. Okay, so, I actually already logged in, but let me log out. So basically this is Learn to A, and our project is like a website where you can keep track of your articles and your courses. So I'm going to log in. We have our login with OAuth, and we're using Passport.js for Google and GitHub. So it takes me to my profile page, and this is basically where all of our courses and articles that we want to share with whoever follows us can see, but it's not everything that's on our own. This is basically only the things that we want to share. So it's to ensure privacy, if you want to go to the Browse tab and add more courses. So I'm going to add a course right now, and I'm going to add an article. And then when I go to my home page, you can see that they're added here. So this isn't going to be like, we want to implement something where we can only share like the ones that we want to share, so that, and like not share everything. And the ones that we would share would show up on the profile page. So yeah, that's basically it for now. Yeah.
Excellent. You know, one of my favorite things about labs is like there's so many projects that we're all doing that just like serve some fundamental thing that I wish existed on the internet in like a world of functional web technology.
Yeah.
But they all suck. They're all like so bad. I wish there was something like this.
Oh yeah, no. Also, we're using Udemy's API over here, and we struggled a lot with it because we're like web scraping it, and I guess like it like blocked us, so we like worked around it. But now it works. And we're not being blocked, so that's good.
That's kind of, the irony is kind of rich with that. Me blocking, you know.
Yeah, right.
Learning developers, the ever developing developers into just, you know, utilizing some of its services.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, and we want to add an add link here where you can just like add any links that would just show up here as well. But yeah. Okay, thanks everyone.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing, Samaya. Okay, this is it. We got is the B silent? Is the E? Let me try. Humi Patel with Sleep Tracker.
Yeah, you got it.
Really cool.
Yeah. All right. So I'm Bhumi. I'm a web developer from Team Sleep Tracker, or what we call it, Sleepsta. Our team members are Leland, Olivia, Kelly, Connect, Dylan, and Dylan is our only iOS developer. So we have both mobile and web applications. Our app uses motion tracking from iOS that allows users to record their sleep and allow them to visualize that sleep analysis through graphs on web. Our tagline is sleep harder, live smarter. So let me start with sharing my screen. All right, so this was our app, Sleepsta, and we used Google Auth and Passport to implement that. I have to use Cognito window because I'm already, am I using the Cognito? Oh, maybe I should like redo it, because if once I'm logged in, it's not gonna take me back. So let me just close that. Sorry, I have to stop that. Just want to show the process. All right. So taking me to the Google.
Also, while this is loading, I love the idea of sleeping harder. Like it's the adjective, like an adverb of sleeping, like sleeping hard.
Yeah, we should have like, I mean, we didn't think too much into it, but yeah.
No, it's brilliant. I love it.
So this is the dashboard once they log in. So we completed building everything. Like we built all the endpoints, but we haven't not completed building everything displaying on front end. So this is going to be the dashboard. Once the user logged in, they will be they can pick the week to see the data for that week. So once they pick that, they will be able to see. This is the radial graph, so they will be able to see the radial graphs for all 7 days, along with the weekly graph that we haven't implemented yet, which we'll do the next week. So they will get the summary of the weekly in the weekly graph, and the radial graph is right now showing the percentage based on how many hours they slept out of 8 hours. And when they click on it, the line graph is going to show with more detailed sleep analysis for that day. And we haven't built out other pages, but I can show you it's the profile where it's, my email and username is getting pulled from Google. So that's all on here. And one thing I would like to share from this week is the most challenging for me this week is building and implementing Google OAuth. And I was getting a lot of errors. Sorry, I shouldn't have done that, but I was getting a lot of errors, and then to figure out where the error was coming, it took me a while to figure it out, because Hold on, I'm trying to share my screen, but it's not sharing the right screen.
It's already, it is sharing. It's showing your incognito window.
I think it's the cognito. No, I didn't want it to show that. I wanted to show this one.
Yeah.
So basically the error was coming from the cigarette client. So if you don't copy and paste it correctly, there was a space in the end, which like you can never figure it out. And the error was not even showing me correctly where the error was coming from. So it was hard to figure it out that there was a space in the end, and Google is sensitive regarding their secret. So just moving forward, like it can happen to any one of you or even me. So I just want to keep that in mind moving forward. Whenever we copy paste it, we want to make sure that doesn't happen. Otherwise, it's just going to give you token error, and you're just going to keep looking at the token and verify the token, but that's not the issue there. So that's the one thing I learned.
And then think about all the sleep that you're going to lose when you can't figure out why isn't my token working. You got to take note. I mean, when it comes to what we're doing in labs, something like a sleep tracker might do us a lot of good.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Thank you for sharing. All right, everybody, check it out. This is, I know we ran a little bit over time, but we got one more. This is the last one. So remember when we were trying to hook up the Intercom app? Well, now we got Sergey. Sergey's going to run us through Intercom app. So thanks for sticking around. I know we're a little bit over, but Lamb fam, I know we're all looking forward to the future of one another. So let's give it up for Sergey.
Hi everyone, my name is Sergey. I will show in the app. I'm iOS developer and I can show the iOS part. I don't want to take more time. I will share my screen and go over what we got for this week. Right now, we're using Twilio, and our app will provide the voice chat for people who can't hear well in hard hearing problem or in environment, noisy. And our backend team already give us all the data. I will show you quick the login part. It's implementing with the auto. You just click login, they will transfer you to the web page. I don't have it's time to log in here, and I already have device which one been logged in before. You just basically click here, and they will automatically log in and then go through your app. The next view right here, it's my personal phone, physical phone, and this is the simulator. And data you can see here is coming from the backend. You just click the chat room. This is just temporary view, and it's using API Twilio, and we can make a call from here to another phone. Let's say I have a test account, and you want to call from here. I implemented push notification.
Thank you for using your
right now. We're using the demo
Please
account.
engrave
We
your
have a
full
message
account
up
to
front.
remove this message.
But whenever it comes to, you can see how it notification right here, and I accept, reject, or ignore. Whenever you accept it, right now we can together and mute that. You can go to your speaker or the regular phone. And another information from backend. This is our groups. Yeah, that's pretty much fast information about our app.
One of the use cases that this particular app had was, for example, like working with a group of friends, not working, well, you can't be working with people if you're riding motorcycles, but if you're riding with like your squad, if you're like riding with the crew on bicycles and it's kind of hard to hear, something like this could come in really, really slick for just inside your helmet. Like, Sergey, what'd you say? I can't hear you. Oh, we got to turn up here. Cool. Just
they will create it like voice chat with this one of people. And that will help to hear much better.
Yes. Great. Well, thank you for sharing, Sergey. I also love seeing Xcode after like staring at Visual Studio for months and years and centuries. It's kind of cool to see like a different IDE. So, thanks everybody for sticking around a little bit later than usual. I'm sorry that we went a little bit overboard. Maybe if I stopped talking so much, that wouldn't be the case. But I want you to know how much I appreciate y'all for taking the time to just step up and flex a little bit and showing us what you got. So without further ado, have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you next week.
Bye.
So long.
Bye.